What's your physical type, would you say?
Physical. I like a little bit of scruff.
Oh, yeah.
Hair,
Guys, we're all a fan of the scruff.
Yes,
I'm a huge fan of the scruff.
Scruff is a trend right now.
It is.
Which I'm not mad at.
Me neither.
I usually go for personality. Like, I like funny guys. I like really smart people who have like good conversation, you know. I like all around just nice people. I don't really go for looks because I feel like that's kind of, you know, self-centered.
Hello, everybody. This is Down to Date. Welcome to the studio. This is the podcast where we put two complete strangers together in a podcast studio and see if they are down to date. You are going to be acting as a fly on the wall to see if this is a match made in podcast heaven. So without further ado, let's see if our next contestants are down to date. All right, so with us in the studio, we have Quentin and Doug. We're going to be seeing if they are down to date. Are you guys feeling a little nervous, or what are the emotions like?
A little bit.
Always. Tingly.
All right, the first introduction, you know, it's always a little bit shaky in the beginning, but I'm excited to see if you guys are down to date. So without further ado, we're going to be going into the first section just to kind of get a little vibe and get to know each other a little bit better. I like to call it story time because it's telling your entire life story in as much detail as possible in 1 minute. Do you guys think you could say your entire life story in 1 minute?
I can try.
Yeah.
Might as well.
It's a long story.
Well, it's good. 1 minute actually is actually a lot more time than you realize. I was surprised too when I actually had to do it one time, and it's like
how much came out?
Yeah, I was like, I have 30 seconds left, and I feel like I have so much to say. Okay, so first, Doug.
Okay.
I think you should go first. I feel that. All right, are you ready?
I'm
ready.
We have
60 seconds on the clock. Going to tell your entire life story in as much detail as possible. And your mark, get set, go.
Okay, my name is Doug Menger. I'm originally from the East Coast, New Jersey, New York area. My dad's from New York, Yonkers, and my mom's from Jersey, and they kind of ended up settling there. But I'm the youngest of 5, which is usually very surprising to people because no one has that many siblings.
Big family.
Yeah, huge family. I'm Italian-German. I used to do competition cheering and gymnastics back in the day, so
you're flexible.
Very flexible, and just love being physically active, let's say.
Flexible and physically active.
Right? But yeah, I'm a hairstylist. I've been doing hair for about 7 years now. I started on the East Coast and then moved to LA. I've been out here around almost 4 years coming this December. But yeah, I've kind of bounced around and lived all over the city at this point. I've lived in the valley.
Time's up. 1 minute. Man, actually, you did pretty well for 1 minute.
Right.
You're like calm, cool, and collected the entire way through, and I feel like you got a lot in there.
Great.
Anything else you feel like you missed?
I probably missed a lot.
This is true. It's hard to fit your entire life story in one
Especially
minute.
with 5 siblings.
Yeah, and
Exactly,
right, exactly. That's like
We never got the siblings' names.
no.
Do you all have the same first letter in your names?
No.
I always feel like my parents named all my siblings with a K sound. So it's a K and a C, Kendall, Kylie, Colton.
No, I think all our names are completely different, but it's interesting because it goes boy, girl, boy, girl, boy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Almost
so
as if it was on purpose.
Right? Just kind of happened like that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, Quentin, it is your turn.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, your entire life story in as much detail as possible in 1 minute. In your mark, get set, go.
My name is Quentin Harpainter. I am born and raised in LA. My mom is also from LA. My father is from Switzerland. They met in Europe. My mom brought him back here. I've been here my whole life. I'm a full-time student, finishing up my undergrad. I actually do work part-time at a hair salon, which is funny enough. I have a brother who lives in Europe as well. He travels around a lot because he works in hotel management. I like to stay physically active as well. I played volleyball as a kid growing up, whether on the beach or mostly indoor, actually. And I now just put sports to the side, and now it's more for aesthetics. I like to go to the gym a few times a week and hang out with friends on the weekends.
You got 8 seconds.
I know. Oh, boy. don't know. That's too much. My father is becoming a priest.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Nice. That was an interesting last
Right?
round.
Exactly.
I
Just
was
throw it in
reeling
there.
it in.
Wait, so does your family live in America or Europe?
Yeah, so actually interesting. My mom passed away when I was 17. And
wow.
so my father then, a year after, would join the seminary to become a Catholic priest. And so my mom has a brother and sister who are still here, but my father is the second youngest of 5, and they all live in Switzerland. And so my family, half and half essentially.
Yeah, cool.
Oh man,
Yeah.
nice. And you guys do have like a little. I see a little bit of similarities, both
European.
For sure, backgrounds.
European,
Yeah.
both working at a hair salon. So,
Right?
or
I
working-
know,
working
that's so
with hair.
funny.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You guys have a little bit of similarities. All right. So, after that quick introduction, we are going to be going to the second point, and that was easy enough. But this is probably one of the harder parts of the podcast. This is the jar of questions you never want to ask on a first date.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Doug, is there anything you're hoping that is not in this jar?
No, I'm a pretty open book, honestly. I don't,
Yeah. Just
whatever
look
happens.
fear straight in the eye. You got it down.
Exactly.
How about you, Quentin?
I can be too open. I hope that my dad maybe doesn't see this.
Right.
There's
Depending
nothing
how it goes.
Nothing wrong with being too open.
Yeah.
So with that, Quentin, you are the first one that's going to pull a question out of here.
Alrighty. Let's see what we can do. Okay, do I read it?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
read it out loud. We all want to know.
Okay. Why did your last relationship end?
Ooh.
Interesting. Well, honestly, I feel like we just kind of grew apart. Our work and just our lives in general were going opposite directions. I'm, like I said earlier, a very ambitious person, especially when it comes to my job. So it's very important to me, and I feel like the other person it wasn't for them and kind of had different upbringing. So it was just like, this is time to change course and kind of separate.
Yeah, you want to be someone that builds you up and allows you to aspire to where you want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not hold you back. We don't want anchors.
No anchors.
Yeah. How about you, Quentin? What's what?
My last relationship ended because I felt like he had maybe he played his role in my life and helped me grow, but there were certain things that I know bothered me. For example, his relationship with his ex-boyfriend. I maybe was found uncomfortable because they were just good friends, and I think that as you said, we kind of just grew apart, and yeah, I still care for him and try and stay in touch, but yeah, definitely there was some crossroads and whatnot.
It goes back to that friends with exes, it's difficult.
Exactly. We were actually talking
It's a
earlier
gray area.
about having being in monogamous relationships, if that's something you want or something that you don't look for, and having that open communication early on in a relationship,
For sure.
which I think is really important.
Yeah,
Super
I mean,
important.
especially in the gay community too. Monogamy, is not maybe the most common, but it's something that people work with, and too, it's interesting to see both sides of it. I'd say.
Yeah. Man, already talking about exes in the first question.
Right?
It's really not wasting any time.
That was gonna be a nice
All right, Doug, you go for one.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Are you attracted to me?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're a handsome man. You have beautiful eyes. We were talking about it earlier, and we like a little bit of scruff, and you have that.
Those eyelashes.
Yeah,
I have to
wow.
say, Doug, you got some amazing eyelashes.
Oh, wow, girl. Thank you. Grew myself.
We're going to flip the coin. What about you, Doug? What do you think? Are you?
No, he's very attractive.
Ooh,
he's very
okay. We got the
handsome.
attraction down. We got the attraction down. So, that's good. All right. Quentin, your turn.
Let's see. Pink, my favorite. What are your exes like?
Oh, okay.
Right? So many ex questions.
Right?
Let's get it out of the way. you
Right,
know?
yeah, exactly. Personality-wise, or
Yeah.
just in general?
What's the first thing that comes to mind? Personality?
Sweet, loving, just good people, but sometimes I feel like I said they're not at the level you need them to be for a relationship, and I usually date people who are older than me. I'm going to be 26 in May, so I don't know, I kind of have a certain standard for anyone that's above me. So kind of, if I'm doing better than you,
Yeah. You
Kinda
want to make sure you get on the same level with
Right.
somebody. Make sure you're influencing each other.
exactly. I want to have a partner to help me grow, not to kind of carry the weight.
Yeah. And you felt like your past relationships were more of a...
Yeah, I mean, like he said, I learned a lot of things. I don't regret any of it, but it just wasn't working anymore. It was time to go and move on.
Yeah. C'est la vie.
Yeah, exactly. C'est la vie.
How about you, Quentin? What were your exes like?
Both have been great guys that, again, are people, I try and stay in touch with that. Because I think that who you're in a relationship with is also a reflection of you and your choices and how you, see people and what you look for in people. So I like to think that my exes are all both great men and that, they embody a lot of characters that I want to have in myself and that I want to learn from them maybe. They're, as we said, like empathetic, sensitive, having good balances with, their social life, their work life. And so that's what I really look for in, partners. And so I've found that I have dated people like that as well.
Yeah. And also, I was actually talking with Doug earlier and I was talking with Quentin earlier and you were saying you're 21.
I am 21,
and Doug,
yes.
You normally date guys that are older than you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something new.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
is something
Definitely.
new. All right, so we are going to take a little bit of a break after those intense questions. I think we need to take a little break before we
Some
get into the
water,
next
for sure.
section. In our next section, we are going to be doing game time, so hopefully a little bit lighthearted after that.
Right?
I'm like sweating over here.
A lot of people don't realize that running a podcast is a huge business in itself. There's so many people you have to contact, things you have to keep track of, and that's why I'm so excited that our next sponsor is HoneyBook. So basically, HoneyBook is an online business management tool that organizes your client communications, bookings, contracts, and invoices all in one place, which is extremely helpful. I can't tell you how many times I've been looking in my email to try to find that one contract that I signed or to find that one person that I was talking to. Well, HoneyBook has it all in one, which makes it so much more organized and convenient. HoneyBook makes it simple to run your business better. You get professional templates, e-signatures, and built-in automation. It keeps everything on track and makes you look good. I can't tell you how many times I've been dealing with people and they looked completely unorganized, and that just right off the bat made it so it was something that I did not want to work with. If you have HoneyBook, you are the person that these people would admire. They can even consolidate services you already use, like QuickBooks, Google Suite, Excel, MailChimp, Gmail, all the things. I know there's a few of those that I use that I would love to have in one place. It's the #1 choice for clients and business management for freelancers and business owners. And you can definitely see why, because it is just organization in one place. You can save time and do more of what you love with HoneyBook. And right now, HoneyBook is offering our listeners 50% off when you visit honeybook.com/long. Payment is flexible, and this promotion applies whether you pay monthly or annually. Go to honeybook.com/long for 50% off your first year. That's honeybook.com/long. I just got this amazing box in the mail. It's called the Cause Box. Cause Box is a quarterly subscription. That means you get it 4 times a year. And the reason why I absolutely love the Cause Box is not only are there amazing items in them, but all of the items are ethically sourced, sustainable, and they have a positive mission to give back and make the world better, which I can 100% get behind. Every Cause Box is limited edition, so they're not going to be repeating these boxes over and over. The last 3 boxes sold out within days, and the current fall box is honestly the best box yet. You get over $300 worth of items, but you only pay $50, which is absolutely insane. It's a perfect price range for a gift to give to your family and friends. So I'll just give you a list of all the things that are inside this box because there's a lot for the price that you get. You get a magazine of all the stories behind the products because each product has a really awesome story. The travel wallet, the Maylene Plus Cortez recovery treatment oil, which honestly I think Joe stole that from me, so I'm not getting that back. 10-piece makeup brush collection, white cactus candle, which does not give all those bad, awful chemicals out. It's an amazing candle. The letterboard, art print, and also one thing that's absolutely amazing is the Duffel Weekender bag. By itself, it cost over $100, which is crazy that you get the bag and everything else for $50, which is quite remarkable. And the Nichelle Heather Drop Lariat necklace is absolutely beautiful. I'm a gold girl, so all my jewelry is gold, so I got that in gold and I absolutely love it. And what's really cool is that Nichelle the Maker gives back 10 meals to those in need with every purchase. So you are also giving back. You're getting something super cute, but you're giving back to those in need, which is such an amazing cause. The experience of getting the box is an experience in itself because the boxes are designed by independent female artists, which I absolutely love. Each box is unique and beautiful. It makes an amazing present. It's already basically gift wrapped for you because it's so beautiful. Down to Date listeners can go to www.causebox.com and use the code LONG30, that's LONG30, to get 30% off your first box. So go get the fall Cause box before it sells out. Honestly, I can tell you firsthand you're going to love it, and these things are highly desirable, so I recommend you get it now. Again, you can go to www.causebox.com and use the code LONG30. We are approaching fall, and as we approach fall, we are approaching Halloween. And in the spirit of Halloween, there's all these scary Halloween movies coming out, scary costumes, and not all of us can handle those scary things very well. I know I am the kind of person that cannot handle a scary movie. For moments like that, for a season such as Halloween, there is BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed personal therapist. And you can start communicating in under 24 hours. So if you just came back from a really scary movie and you want to talk to somebody, BetterHelp is there for you. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of experts in BetterHelp's counselor network, which may not be locally available in many areas. So you can have access to a lot of different kinds of people and find the right person that works for you. The service is available for clients worldwide, so anyone has access to this. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. So if you need help from your house, or if you need help from the grave or some spooky area and you just can't handle all the scary things, BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/long. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, and join their over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Special offer for Down to Date listeners, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/long. All right, everybody, welcome back to Down to Date. We are in game time right now, so we're going to cool off with a little bit of fun. The game we are doing is actually a debate. Are either of you guys really fiercely competitive?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hands down. Doug's like, yeah, I'm competitive. How about you, Quentin?
I can get there. Might have to work my way into it.
Yeah?
But yeah.
Like a slow build.
Yeah. It's a slow build competition, you know.
That competition
I have to feel
cheering.
it out.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a debate. So the debate I propose to you two is being in the friend zone a good thing? Doug, I'm going to have you say being in the friend zone is a good thing. And Quentin, I'm going to have you say being in the friend zone is a bad thing.
Okay.
All right, so get some time to think about your
Question,
debate.
is the friend zone entirely platonic?
I would say the friend zone would be characterized as there is a hope of eventually being in a relationship.
Okay.
But it's like an upward battle. It's an upward battle. One person, the person who's in the friend zone, does aspire to one day be more than a friend.
Got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are pros and cons. I've seen many romance movies where, actually, I'm not even going to say it. Yeah. I'm not going to give you any ideas. So, actually, Quentin, you can start off first and tell us.
Okay, so anti-friend zone.
You are anti-friend zone.
Okay. I think friend zone can be a negative thing because if one person is aspiring to be in the relationship with another, if they are in the friend zone, I think that it can lead to a lot of hurt feelings. So honestly, in certain cases, if the other person is blatantly not interested in you, I think that there might be a point where you need to take your self-worth and understand that you need to move on as well, and that maybe being a friend might not be healthy for you, because if you can't handle that and it's just an emotional roller coaster for you, then then it's probably not the smartest thing for me or whoever it may be to be in the friend zone. Because at the end of the day, if they're not physically attracted to you or whatever it may be, it just is probably going to end up with somebody getting more hurt than they already are.
So maybe there's a reason that you're in the friend zone, and maybe you should,
Yes, take the sign and run.
But what about you, Doug? Because it's not always bad to be in the friend zone.
No, I mean, I know I have good friends that, were best friends for life and who have ended up in relationships, and it's one of the strongest, relationships I know.
It's a rom-com that I love.
Yeah, right? I know, honestly. It's rare, but it's out there. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because, at that point you really know this person and you're obviously comfortable with them. And, if you're, both feeling a certain way, then why not, give it a try and see where it goes. Yeah.
Well, how about you, Quentin? What do you have to say to that?
No, I think that that's a very valid point, and I think that it's great that, you know, you clearly have a connection with someone, probably platonically if you're in the friend zone, and that they can foster a healthy and long relationship romantically. But I guess I would say that the friend zone is a bad thing because
because I said so.
When you yes, yeah. But you know, when you transform, then let's say you do transform into a romantic relationship and it doesn't end well, because you know, when you're a best friend and a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever it may be, you know, it's a different dynamic completely. And so when you do enter something romantic with someone that was previously in a friend zone that you were close with, you know, it could potentially end up meaning you lose your best friend. And so, you know, if that person is very important to you in your life, then I think that there is a lot of value in just keeping that person as a friend and not trying to maybe not force anything, but, you know, transform into something different that could potentially mean that you lose the person.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't disagree with that, honestly. It's funny that you gave me the question, you know, for the opposite of what he's saying, because honestly, I do think more of what he's thinking.
Oh, really?
I've seen both sides of it. I've seen people who've been friends for years and they've continued to grow their relationship, but I've also seen the other side of it, where it's been destruction of friendships. And
I see that it's like the hopeless romantic.
Exactly.
That feels like, oh, you know, we're friends, but we'll grow so much
know
closer.
each other. Mm-hmm.
And maybe like the friendship will blossom into something romantic.
Right. It's not broken, don't
wishful
fix it.
thinking.
Yes, exactly. Do you feel like maybe, do you believe in like love at first sight, or maybe it's all just physical initially?
I think it's definitely...
That's an important
I
thing.
think it's, yeah.
Definitely physicality and...
First impressions are everything, 100%. Especially in my opinion. Whether they're physical or emotional or just how you present yourself, I feel like that first step is going to set the tone for the rest of, you know, the relationship, whether it's a friend or like someone you actually love.
I have an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like it's difficult to have friendships of like being gay, being in the same sex? Is it difficult to have friendships in that way? Because I almost feel like for me, it's difficult to have friendships with other men.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like I wouldn't hang out with another guy by myself because I don't see that's just, you know.
Right.
100%.
So is it difficult?
I think it's a very similar thing where like, you know, it's tough too, because then on the other hand, like the majority of my friends also are gay men. So it's like, when you're first meeting someone, for example, like you don't know really where to categorize them. Where, you know, for you, you know, if you meet a woman, they're automatically they're going to be a friend or they're not. And if you meet a man, then, you know, it's probably going to be a romantic path. But for us, at least in my experience, that it's this weird dynamic when when you're first meeting someone, it's like, okay, is this what path is this going to go down?
Like,
you know, there's not a clear structure. Like you really don't know, and maybe one person sees it going down a friend's, you know, path, and the other wants it romantic, and then it can create a whole different drama that maybe wouldn't happen.
I can imagine it's a lot more complicated to navigate.
Yeah, and that all goes back to like open relationships and just like I said, I'm very kind of traditional in that sense. Like I don't believe in when I'm dating someone, I'm usually just dating that person. Like I don't like to go on 5 other dates with different guys, kind of like, you know, seeing my options, because let me tell you, the grass is always greener. And I just don't think you'll ever get to really know someone if you're constantly just looking at the door to see who else walks in.
Yeah. Get away from the shiny things, the distractions.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know?
Especially in a city like Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of
any
pretty
major
things to
city.
look at.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm from a
city.
smaller town in Jersey, so I was really the only gay person out for a long time. And I came out early. I came out in like the 6th grade, so it was like I was
How
out
was
there.
it coming out?
For me, it was easy. I was very lucky to, you know, have that happen for me. I had a big support system at home and just at school. You know, I was more of a social butterfly. Everyone knew me, and they all just, I was, you know, funny guy.
Unforgivably,
Yeah,
like,
I was just like
who I am,
myself.
accept it.
Exactly. I had people who didn't accept it, but then I had people right next to me that were cursing that person out.
That's how you find your true friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Quentin, you're from the city, in LA. So do you feel like it's easier for you to come out in a city like LA?
That's actually a great question. So I grew up Catholic, and I went to an all-boys Catholic school, and there were people that were out, but I internally had a lot of conflict because I felt like I had to play this like jock, like womanizer role, which obviously was not
who you truly were.
Yeah. And so it was definitely I think the biggest like kind of speed bump that I came across was me accepting myself and realizing that this kind of persona that I was portraying out to people wasn't necessarily what was real. And so it wasn't that, coming out was hard because I was in a very progressive city like Los Angeles. And so it was hard for me because of my own internal battles,
Yeah.
I feel like we already went in depth, but I would love to go even more in depth. So you both have flashcards in front of you, and each one has a question. You're going to take turns asking each other the question, but I want both of you guys to answer the question just so we can get like both of your sides to
keep it fair.
Yeah, to keep it fair. What you don't know is I'm actually going to be leaving the room for this section.
Oh.
So you guys are on your own.
Okay.
So I will come back in a few.
Bye, Kendall.
What holds you back?
A lot of it, what holds me back is usually myself. I feel like we're our worst critics in everything we do. I definitely can say that for myself. For most of the, opportunities I've had, I kind of had to throw myself into the fire and just kind of do it, because otherwise I play it very safe. And like, I feel like if I never I need to be more spontaneous, let's just say.
For sure. And then for me, I think that it's a lot of my own doing, but I think definitely what holds me back is, in regards to dating, definitely my age. Obviously being 21 can be a little bit, it can be tougher to find things that are more serious, especially like you said, I like to date guys that are typically a little bit older than I am. And so definitely it can come around to being, when I'm dating someone, it's weird that I'm like a student and that, I'm financially somewhat dependent on my father for, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of cases to where, and completely understandable to where like that would be something that a lot of people don't see as in like a serious partner, which I, again, completely would understand if I was older.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, so next question. What scares you about yourself, our world, the future?
What scares me about myself?
No, it's a hard question.
That is a tough question. I get scared sometimes that I get kind of like caught up in like superficial things, and then I put too much emphasis on, maybe what I'm presenting, like my, my body or whatever it may be.
It's physical.
100%. So I think that definitely is something that in the back of my head is kind of frightening because, I've noticed that it's progressively gotten worse as I've gotten older and like more involved in like the gay world. Because I think it's something that is common in our world. And so I know that that's something that I hope to remain conscious of, that, it's not all about what looks exactly. And so, yeah.
I mean, I can agree with that, especially being in the beauty industry. I mean, my whole job is about making people beautiful and, just kind of being extra and glamorous in that sense. But I can totally understand. I mean, I don't think I'm superficial in that sense. I feel like I like to buy nice things, but I also have been in the spot where I didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
And everything I have at this point has been, things I've worked hard for. So it's like, it's nice to earn it for yourself in that sense.
It makes it more valuable.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, no, I could totally agree with you.
For sure. Okay. What would you want? Sorry. Would you want to know the truth about something if it would hurt you or change your life for the worse?
Yes. Just because I feel like I am very intuitive, and I feel like I would already know something was up, and at that point, I'll just drag it out of that person. I'm like, you're gonna have to tell me.
Anyways.
Yeah.
This is also a good question. Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it's always beneficial to find out things when they come, because sooner or later it's going to come out, whether that be next week, a year, 10 years. The instance that I always think of is like if a partner was cheating on me, like would I want to know the truth? Like if a friend knew or whatnot. And I think that the answer would be yes. Because one, I just feel like I look stupid if I'm getting cheated on. I have no idea.
Everybody else around you knows.
Exactly. And so in that case, yes. And I think in all cases, yes, even though, it might be hard for a certain amount of time. I think that
the truth hurts.
Exactly. And it's something that, you can learn from as well.
Yeah, no, I feel like I agree with that. What would you like to have happen to your body after you die?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Maybe isn't there something I see on Facebook? I don't know if it's real or not.
Let's talk about it.
But there's aren't there little pods now that people are growing trees out of
That's
carcasses?
really funny you said that, honestly, because I want to do the same thing.
Oh, really? So you've seen this article. Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm not going crazy.
No, you take your ashes and you plant yourself essentially as a tree to regrow, and I would love to give back to the earth.
100%. No, I taking a lot from it.
Right, exactly.
Give back as much
We're
as I can.
doing some damage, so if I can bring myself back as a tree,
put me in the Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Or with the rest of them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess I answered that for myself too. So,
how do you think I feel about you?
Feel like you may be a little intrigued, but also slightly nervous.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to correct that or not. And then how do I feel that you think about me? Yeah, you don't seem nervous at all.
Well,
I think
that's good.
I think that there's a little bit of curiosity.
Yeah.
Especially when I drop the bomb that my dad is becoming a priest.
Right. Well, it's funny you said you were raised Catholic.
Yeah,
so was
for
I.
sure. Oh, you were as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's definitely some similarities there. Yeah, I think that also there's, maybe I'm wrong, but a little bit of curiosity.
I think there's curiosity.
Yes. TBD.
Would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
That's a great question. I think that I would lean more towards the extroverted side. I think that when you really get to know me, I'm extremely extroverted, but in the beginning, I can be very introverted. I know my mom used to always tell me as a kid that I was actually very shy when meeting new people. And so, but then again, behind closed doors, I'm very outgoing. I like to think so. And I'm very extroverted, essentially. But I think that, if you ever see me out, maybe at a bar or a club or something, I'm not the guy that's dancing on the tables.
No, yeah,
I'm much more
to yourself.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, I feel that.
Depends what I'm drinking.
Yeah, right, exactly. Such a funny question. Mm-hmm. I would honestly say I'm an introverted extrovert.
Okay.
So essentially, I feel like with my job, I am kind of not forced, but I have to work with people
100%.
And I have to be turned on all the time. So I am constantly, just talking and surrounding myself with people, especially in the beauty industry. It's constant, small talk and just stuff like that.
Putting it on.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I would much prefer to be home and just kind of doing things around the house, or I like to say I would rather 4 quarters than 100 pennies, meaning friendship wise, I'd rather 4 close friends than 100 acquaintances, because I just prefer much tighter groups people who actually care.
You can real connections.
Yeah, and I'm also very protective of who I let into my circle. So if your intentions are good, then I'll let you in.
All right, did you guys miss me?
Yeah.
No,
yes,
probably
always.
not. No, you guys were completely
did.
fine on your own. All right, so you guys got to know a little bit about each other. Let's see if you guys got to know each other enough to go into the honesty time. And we're going to see if you guys are down to date. So without further ado, we are going to be going on a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will see if these two gentlemen are down to date. Stay tuned. Honesty time. Doug, you're such a hard person to read. I feel like you're so chill, sitting there, and I don't know if you have an interest or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, it might be because of my sign. I'm a Taurus.
Ooh. So what is it with a Taurus that makes you hard to read?
We have a very good poker face. So when, things are either nervous or work situations get tough, we have a very good at keeping it very straight, and we have control of the situation, even though inside maybe we're a little nervous and freaking out. But yeah, I just...
Would you say internally you feel nervous and freaking out?
Yeah,
You
100%.
do not show it.
Oh, wow.
Kudos to you.
Maybe it comes out in words.
Wait, nervous in the sense that you feel like there's an attraction there? Or nervous
Both.
in the sense...
Okay. I'm definitely attracted to him.
Okay.
That's for sure.
But is there also... So Quentin's 21.
Yeah.
Is that a red flag to you?
Not necessarily, because thinking back and looking at myself at 21, I was kind of similar.
Yeah,
Not
he
that
seems
I'm-
really mature for
Right,
21. Like I would have
exactly.
never guessed he was 21.
Me either.
So getting to know each other, well, actually, I want to go back to when you first saw each other. What was your first reaction when you saw Quentin?
I mean, you came through with your promise. He's very tall.
Yes.
Which, you know, it's hard to find, believe it or not, people of
Yeah.
that height. And it makes sense because he's part Swedish, so.
Yeah, you guys are both European.
Yeah, everyone in Europe is mostly very tall on that side, so.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that you guys were both. I mean, I guess you both do look European.
It's still,
but-
you know, it's light eyes,
Yeah.
you know, tall.
Yeah.
Hair.
So, are there any red flags that you got while we were going through the podcast?
No, he seems like a pretty, you know, cool guy.
Yeah, he seems a
like-
little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I
But I
feel
think it's a
that.
good thing.
I mean, I feel like everyone's always nervous first meeting, so.
There is going to be a revealing moment. Are you down to date or not? What do you think Quentin's going to say?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I feel like he could say yes. I feel like there's definitely an attraction in the room. But,
I would say there's an attraction. I would say there's an attraction stirring. I would say that.
All right. Yeah, I guess time will tell in a couple of minutes.
Time will tell. We're going to bring Quentin in and see what he thinks about everything.
Cool. Sounds great.
Honesty time. All right, Quentin. so many questions
So
for
many
you.
answers.
So many questions. When Doug first walked in the room, what was your first reaction?
He looks like me.
You guys, okay, I didn't realize it. 'Cause I saw your pictures separately, but in person, you guys, you guys
There's
are
some similarity,
both
like
tall,
light eyes,
both European.
brisk crowd.
But how do you feel about that? You said you more so like the darker features.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's a handsome guy for sure.
Yeah.
I was I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know if it was that him. But yeah, no, he's a handsome man for sure.
Do you feel like he's more like different than your normal type would be?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess we talked about it a little bit before, but what's more so your type?
He's definitely like on the leaner side
Yeah.
for sure, which is great. I think that I just happen to have dated guys that are a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
Not that one is better or worse than the other.
You gotta, try all kinds.
For sure, all the different flavors.
From rocket to your rocket. That's what I always say. Yeah, but what would you say? Were there any red flags?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. It's fine to have red
yeah,
flags. We
I
like
think-
to acknowledge these.
That when he said that he's more of a traditional guy, which I entirely respect. I just know that maybe I see things maybe a little bit differently and maybe not as traditional. I know that he maybe brought up a few times like things about like the open relationship aspect in our community of the gay world, and I know that it's something I've tried and it's something that I would do again. And so
So you have an open mind.
for sure,
And you might want to be with someone who would have an open mind as well.
Yeah.
So he
essentially.
seems pretty set.
Yeah, which is
on that.
great, and I totally love that and
But to
respect
each
that.
their own.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, there is going to be, would you date or go on a second date or not? What do you think Doug's going to say?
Probably not. No.
You think no?
Yeah, I think no because I think that the age thing threw him off. I think that he likes older guys, which was one, and I'm not only younger than him, significantly younger, and he also mentioned that he wants guys that are at his level career-wise, or maybe not even, and maybe even like further ahead in their career, and I 100% respect and get that. And so for that reason, and I'm a student, and so for that reason, I would be shocked if he said
But
he
you're a
was
good
down.
catch. Like, you're an amazing catch. I have to
I
say.
mean,
Why
I
not
appreciate
try it
it.
out, right? That's how I feel. And I also feel like Doug is he's like a little harder to read.
Yeah, he is
Very close to the chest.
No, yes, stoic in certain ways, but like he said, he's a introverted extrovert, and that I like that in guys too, and it's definitely something that I find in a lot of people that I date, that they kind of have similar qualities of like introverted extroverts, to where they might be more to themselves, and they might be like he brought up, I don't know if you were in here or not, but he brought up that he'd rather have like 4 quarters than 100 pennies into
Yeah.
that, meaning that he would rather have like a certain few around than like 100 acquaintances type
What
of
amazing
thing.
metaphor, by the way. I'm going to use that.
Me too. And so, for that, something like that quality is definitely something that I find a lot in people that I date, and also something that I look forward to, because I think that kind of balances me out well, because I'm definitely someone with 100 pennies.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's a good balance.
Yeah. No, it's a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I would
Absolutely,
say.
which I
Definitely a
love.
different perspective.
Which I love, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. I think there's a little bit of interest there, intrigue.
For sure.
That's my opinion, but we're going to find out when we bring Doug back in and see if they are down to date. Let's see. Alrighty, so we have Quentin and Doug back in the studio. We are going to see if they are down to date. So in front of you, you have a flashcard. On one side it says down, the other side says not. On the count of 3, you're going to reveal if you would be down to go on a second date or not. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm like, are we supposed to hide the cards?
Yeah,
or
do
are
we
they
just
just,
put
they're
it
just
down?
there?
No, you show it to the camera and then
that.
say it in the mic as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is me fully open,
Okay.
disclosed.
Okay.
All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Quentin said you're not down, and Doug, you are down. We're gonna go right into this.
I can explain. So
Yes.
for me, which was it wasn't a red flag. It was definitely something that I noticed that, like you brought up tradition, and like, you know, I know that you brought up a few times like the open relationship thing, and I was telling her that like I would never want to put someone in an uncomfortable place to where, you know, potentially they would be in an open relationship
Absolutely.
or potentially be in something non-traditional, and so. For that reason, I'm like, you know, if it did ever get there, like I wouldn't want to hurt someone. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so for that, I was like, and I'm definitely someone that, you know, when I'm dating someone, unless, you know, we've talked about exclusivity, I'm also maybe gonna, you know, test out other water.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
100% with that.
And so
As
for
long as
that
you're
reason,
single.
and you are actually a fantastic guy, and for that reason, actually what it is, it's my respect for you, honestly.
Thanks.
And that like I really would just never want to put you in an awkward situation, or in a situation that I know now that you would not want to be in too.
No, I appreciate that just because I was previously just in something like that. So it's like you coming, you know, forward and being honest with that is like much more appreciated than, you know, going down the line and it just turning into a whole nother thing.
Exactly.
That I didn't want to sign up for. So
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's like we said, if there was like a truth, like one of the questions was, if there's like a truth, even if it hurt, would you want to know it now? And like, just get it out of the way now.
Yeah,
so we can,
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
cross that bridge early
Hey,
on.
you
100%.
know what? I appreciate all the honesty. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you guys being open and going for it and just like, you know.
Yeah.
No,
It's fine.
no,
It's fine.
absolutely. I
Thank
love
you
that.
so much.
This is
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
All right.
appreciate
Well,
it.
guys, if you want to hear more of Down to Date, make sure you guys check us out on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you get your podcasts. When you listen, make sure you rate, review, subscribe. We want to hear what you guys think and all the things. Thank you so much. We will see if our next contestants are down to date, so make sure you guys stay tuned for our next episode.